Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive was this comeback?
Skip, I go back and forth with this because, anytime you get a big lead like that and you're able to whittle it down and you come back and win the ball game, the opposing team, the team that you came back against, did some dumb and terrible things. But I'm going to give them an 8 for the simple fact they had to win the game twice. You get down by 26, Skip, in the first half, you whittle it down to 7. Minnesota races out again, get this big lead. I think with like 30 seconds left in the third quarter, Skip, they're up 21. And then you lose by 9? In the first and third quarter, you score 71 points. In the second and fourth quarter, you score 24 points. What?
12 and 12.
What?
12 and 12?
12 and 12. Come on.
What? You lose the fourth quarter 37 to 12?
12 and 12.
At home?
At home. And the crowd is going crazy. But, and as Jen mentioned in the read, Skip, Ja had a triple-double, but it was one of those little Westbrook triple-doubles. 5 of 18. He had the 10 assists, but going over to that next stat line, Skip, what that other one say you? 7 turnovers.
Westbrookian.
So he didn't play his best game, but somehow they still found a way to come back from being down 26 in the first half and again by 25 in the third quarter and win by 9 because they're a deep team. They're not dependent on their only superstar in Ja because Ja, we've seen, they go 20 and 5 without Ja being on the court. So it lets you know they're a deep team. They get Clark, comes off the bench, gives you 20. What did he get? 31, 41 points from their bench. So I'm going to give it an 8 because when you have to win the game, normally you don't have to win the game multiple times, Skip, within the course of a game. That raucous crowd, and they're a young team. A team like Golden State coming back, I ain't got no problem with that because their core group, Skip, has been there, done that. Got no problem with them doing that.
Yep.
Some of these other teams, Milwaukee, if they were to do that, they've been there, done that. This team, these young guys, Ja, Dylan Brooks, Karl Anderson, Taylor Jenkins. Karl Anderson did play with the Spurs, so he's been in some games. But their core guys are really...
Steven Adams has been in some games.
They don't even play him anymore.
He just got benched and DNP'd.
Yes!
He went from helping them lead the league in rebounding. They led it because in biggest part of him with 10 a game.
Yes.
And last night, Taylor Jenkins says, no, not only is he out of the starting lineup, he's out of the game. What?
Hey, Quinn Snyder, you see what they did in Memphis? You might have to sit Rudy Gobert. That's another story, Skip. But win the game twice. Down by 26, down by 25, late in the third quarter, 30 seconds left in the third. You're down 21 points. And all of a sudden, they take off on this massive run. But Minnesota, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Karl Anthony-Towns, can you stop running over people? I think the thing is, Skip, because they're playing in with smaller people. He's getting so excited, Skip. Half of his fouls, he had, 5 and 5? Skip, 5 of his 10 fouls are offensive because he's so excited. And Minnesota, you're falling into this trap. You keep taking these bad shots and all this, and you get the lead. And so instead of playing through Karl Anthony-Towns and letting him get some touches, you keep jacking up bad shots, and they whittle you down. And now Karl Anthony-Towns can't find a rhythm, and he's on the bench. Yeah, he had 32 minutes. Skip, the man had 4 shot attempts. 4 shot attempts for Karl Anthony-Towns, who was an all-star, who's an all-NBA player, and he can only get 4 attempts? So I'm going to give Memphis some credit because they could have easily panicked being on the road, Skip, at a playoff game with this young nucleus, but they hung together. But Minnesota, somebody need to put foots in them. You can't have a 20-plus point lead twice at different points of the ball game and lose that game on your home court by 9 points. That should never happen.
Are you finished?
I'm finished.
It is now my turn and my floor, and I'm going to stomp all over my floor because I am steamed about what I saw last night from my Memphis Grizzlies.
That's what I'm talking about. How you
I picked the Grizzlies to win the West, and I am standing by it.
Okay.
But scale of 1 to 10, impressed scale of 1 to 10 on the comeback last night, I'll try to get up to a 4 because I am running hot about what I saw and did not see from my Memphis Grizzlies last night. Context, please. I have said that Ja Morant is on his way to becoming the face of the league. We had this discussion the other day, right? Yeah. Ja versus LaMelo. I said, I'm going Ja.
Okay.
And it's back and forth. I love LaMelo, but Ja, okay, I love him.
Okay.
I believe in him. But I despise what I saw from him and them last night because you want to talk about ashamed? They are better than Minnesota. I will start with your man, K-18, not your man, but the guy you just talked about, Karl Anthony-Towns. He's a fake tough guy who tries to dredge up some kind of toughness. He's got big talent, low intangibles. I can do the Pat Bev down on the floor intangibles because they run mostly cold. He tries to dredge them up, but when you most count on him, when you need him the most, he's not going to be there for you. And it didn't surprise me at all what happened last night because they go small and he's like, what do I do? How do I just turn it on? He doesn't know how to turn it on. And then he turned it off after the game. What was his line about?
You gonna have some wine?
I'm going to go home and get some wine. I got it here somewhere. Where's Karl Anthony's thing? Yeah, I'll find it in a second. But he finally just gave, I'm going to go home, drink some wine, move on to the next day. That's what he's made of. Thank you very much. Drive home safely. Okay. And the other guys, we've talked about D'Angelo Russell. He showed low intangibles when he was with the Lakers. We know the incident off the court. You just can't count on him when it's time to make the shot to turn the momentum in the game, right? And young Ant-Man, I love his ability. I love his explosiveness, but he's not a consistent enough shooter to bedevil you in the biggest moments. His shooting runs hot. He can run hot for a little bit, and then he'll run cold for stretches. Okay, so I don't think he scares anybody except on his explosive athleticism, right? So those three, in the end, they came up too small at home. But the team that came up even smaller right out of the blocks was the Memphis Grizzlies that I picked to win the West. You can't come back from romping and stomping at home in game 2, and we all sat back and said, there they are, that's the team, right?
Right, yes.
He's a young man, still very young man.
Right.
He was celebrating. He was not just trash talking, he was brash talking like they had just sealed the deal, like the 7-game series had ended, and you know and I know it was just getting started.
It's 1-1.
It's 1-1, and you are going to many. Good luck up in Minnesota.
Right.
And they come out like the series is over and they fall behind 12-0. And then here we go to your point. I think, are they gonna play now? They're gonna play? No, they fall behind by 26. What? You can't do that. And then they finally say, well, maybe we better start now. And they cut it back down to 7 at halftime. And I tweeted at halftime, this isn't enough. You can't say, rest on your laurels. I'm just paraphrasing my tweet. But it's like, are we there yet? No, you're not there yet because you are in their place and they're going to come right back out in quarter 3 just like they did in quarter 1. And what happened? They come out and Minnesota goes on a 21-8 run to start the 3rd. And I sat back and said, game over. You're down 2-1. And I'm starting not to love your chances to get out of the first round. If they lose this game last night the way they should have in several big moments, can they come back from 2 games to 1 down? Is it very possible they'd lose game 3 and fall behind 3 games to 1? Okay. But they didn't. They roared back at the expense of Minnesota because I don't believe in Minnesota, but I didn't from the start. I thought they could win this in 5 games and just roll on into the second round. And instead, it took this to come back. But now, to the punchline of this, like the punch in the stomach line for me. Would you believe that my Memphis Grizzlies won the 4th quarter 37-12 in spite of Ja Morant? In spite of. He did just about everything in his power to blow the game in the 4th quarter, and they still won the 4th quarter 37-12. In the 4th quarter, Ja did score 5 points, but he was 2 of 8. He missed his lone 3, and he went 1 of 4 from the free throw line with 3 more turnovers. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you what was ripping my guts out as I sat in my chair and was ready to roll on the floor. Ja, you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you definitely can't do that if this team is going to go on and do what I think it's capable of, which is winning the West. You got to control yourself and dial it back down and get your team a shot. If you can get to the hoop and get it up off the glass or dunk it, I'm great with that. But he just kept forcing and forcing and forcing the issue all the way until 21.3 seconds left, when he turned it over again, and it was a sorry Westbrookian type turnover where it needs clown music. Like, Ja, you're better than that. Who saved him? Brandon Clark,
Brandon
of all
Clark, 20
people.
off the bench.
There are two of those, the missed layup and then the missed layup at 155 and 128. Brandon Clark got offensive rebounds off both of those misses, and he had a putback on the first one, and he kicked it out to Dylan Brooks on the second one with 1:17 left, and Dylan Brooks just shut the crowd up, hit the dagger three over Cat that made it 10. Game over. And I'm saying, Ja, what am I supposed to do with this? You've got to be better than that, because I got big plans here. I see big things on the horizon. And he said after the game, we feel like we're the deepest team in the league. Well, in the playoffs, the bench usually, as you know, it has to shorten because you can't trust the 10th and 11 guys. But last night, Taylor Jenkins had to reach down.
Skip, Golden State got a bench that can match your depth.
Okay.
Because right now they're bringing Steph. Now we know Steph is going to go back to the starting lineup.
Yeah.
But
because they're playing their death lineup. Because Kevon Looney played 9 minutes last night, and he started the game.
Just enough to aggravate. But Skip, talk about Cat. You mentioned to Mike, the guy has tremendous talent.
Yes, he
won
does.
the three-point competition. He's 7 foot tall. He can post you up. He can put the ball on the floor. But Skip, he's led the league in offensive fouls the last 2 years, and here we are again. It seems to me, Skip, is like, if you let him get going early, you got hell on your hands. But what Memphis has been able to do is that because Minnesota comes out and hits some threes, it takes him out of the game. D'Angelo Russell hitting threes. Ant-Man is hitting threes. They got a couple of guys hitting threes. Cat never touches the ball. Skip, you can see he tried to set a pick for D'Angelo Russell. He got an offensive foul. He's like, what are you doing? You caused me to get a foul. He's getting so frustrated that he's not getting an opportunity. Skip, he got 14 points in 7 quarters. What the hell am I supposed to do with that, Skip?
Hasn't that been the book on Karl Anthony-Towns his whole career?
Yes.
Isn't that why Jimmy Butler, when he was in Minnesota, was screaming at him in practice?
Yes.
Pull your head out, light your fire, get something going, show me something?
You have too much ability to score 14 points in 7 quarters. A game and a half. Almost 2 games, Skip. 7 quarters, it's only 8 quarters in a game. So almost 8, in almost 2 games, Cat got 14 points. And you're supposed to go where? And you're supposed to do what? But you notice, Skip, when he gets it going, he trash talk with the best of them. Pat Bev had it going early. I ain't seen none of this in the fourth quarter. I ain't seen nobody say nothing in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
well, Pat Bev couldn't back it up in the fourth quarter because he had a terrible fourth quarter. He almost out-jawed Jaw in the what did he have? He was he 0 for 3 in the fourth, I think? 0 for 3.
It's Pat Beverly. I mean, we're not with it. I mean, anything that he gives you offensively.
No, he's 0 for 5. I'm sorry. 0 for 3 from 3 in the fourth.
But anything he gives you offensively, Skip, you graciously accept. You're not counting on him. I'm counting on Karl Anthony-Towns to give me more than 8 points, to give me more than 4 shot attempts. I'm counting on him to play better than what he played in game 2. He said it. Oh, we're in Minnesota now. I told him that was their home. I've never seen them in our home. Okay, you came back home. You got your cooking. You living in your space. Bruh, and this is what you put on tape? Look, Memphis is a very deep team, Skip, but ain't no way. I've never seen a team come back twice from 25-point deficits in the same game, and Memphis did it with ease and then beat you by 9.
A 21-0 run, 37-12, and won the game by 9. It's almost like mathematically impossible, but they did it.
Do you know how Minnesota? Do you realize how bad you have to play within the course of allowing them to come back twice? Do you realize Skip, they had 6 turnovers in the second quarter? They lost that one. They only scored 12 points. Had another 4 turnovers in the fourth quarter. They scored 12 points in that. But see, when you keep jacking up these shots, second quarter, there was 2 from 9 from the 3. Fourth quarter, they're 1 for 11. So in the second and fourth, they're 3 from 20 from the 3-point line with 10 turnovers. Who you supposed to beat, Skip?
Yep, I agree. My last point on Ja, my guy Ja. The other thing that shocked me, that hurt my eyes, was the game plan for the T-Wolves right out of the box was attack Ja. Whoever's on Ja, whoever he's guarding, go at Ja. It's horrifying to me, and the Memphis Commercial Appeal, to its credit, wrote this after the game. They were talking about all the derisive chants, like they were doing sarcastic MVP chants for Ja and booing, obviously, mercilessly. And here's Commercial Appeal. Says, even when Morant was on defense, cheers burst out whenever Patrick Beverley or Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell had Morant one-on-one in isolation. The Timberwolves attacked Morant early and often. And then to your point, Beverly lowered his hand to the court floor and gave the too little signal after making his second basket over Morant. Because they're just like, he's too little, we got this.
Right.
Attack him,
Yes.
attack him, attack him.
Yes.
This is the team I picked. You're better than that. I've seen him play better defense than that. And yet he continues to brash talk after games like it's over. Okay, so once again, they just won their second game of the series to go up 2 games to 1. And they should, again, be ashamed of how they started the first quarter and the third quarter. Kudos for coming back. But still, Ja Morant stunk up the fourth quarter. And then he has the audacity to call for the basketball so that he can heave it into the rafters like they just closed out the T-Wolves. Ja, you got to go play there again, right? And you're going to be favored. They're a 3.5-point favorite because they're just better than the T-Wolves.
Yes.
But shouldn't you respect them just enough to know that it is a 7-game series and it could be a 7-game series before this is all over?
It could be.
I still love this team. I like them to win game 4 and go up 3 games to 1. And if they can do that, they'll be sitting pretty going home. But it's just premature celebration after celebration. And Ja has always been disrespected his whole life. He's got the big Baker Mayfield Memorial chip on shoulder. But at some point, you have to prioritize backing it up before you celebrate during a 7-game series, because that's 2 games in a row where he has celebrated after the game or brash talked after the game like it's over. And it ain't.
That's normally a celebration, Skip, when a series ends.
Sure.
And when you throw the ball up in the air like it's over, everybody's like, oh my God, it's finally over, we're the champs. Not after taking a 2-1 lead. You don't normally do that. But Skip, they're young. They've never been in this situation before.
Learn your lesson. But I just demonstrated to you, was Ja good in the fourth quarter? No, he was
Skip,
not.
he wasn't good during the game.
Okay.
He's 5 of 18.
Okay.
He's 50% from the free throw line.
50%, you can't do it.
No, he wasn't good.
You're lucky you survived that. You're lucky.
Desmond Bain was great, though.
He was great. Well, a lot of, he just making threes. He just strokes them, man.
Yes.
He's been doing it all year.
Yes.
And they do go to, listen, Brandon Clark was sensational. He saved their bacon in the fourth quarter making plays.
4 offense, 8 rebounds, 4 offensive, 4 defensive. He was 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He was tremendous. They were good. Skip, they were good when they needed to be good. But Minnesota, I can't say Memphis won this game. This is more about Minnesota losing this game, Skip. I mean, come on now. You can't score 71 in 2 quarters and then score 24 in 2 quarters.
All I know is I still love you, Ja. I still love you, Memphis.
But you're not as confident as you were.
Well, it's about living and learning, and maybe they learned a lesson last night, or maybe not.
You believe they learned a lesson?
You didn't sound like it after the game, did you?
Exactly.
Well, guys, you never wonder where Ja Morant stands, that's for sure. Chris Finch also taking a little bit of heat on Minnesota's side for the way he managed timeouts. One more in Minnesota for the T-Wolves Saturday, and then the series moves back to Memphis on Tuesday.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.